There comes a time in your life when you must make a decision to rise, a decision to grow, a decision to lead, and that moment is now. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't made to follow. You were created to set the standard in your family, the standard in your business, the standard in your circle, the standard in your life. People talk about being successful. They talk about achieving greatness. They talk about reaching the top. But let me ask you this. How many of them are truly willing to raise the bar? How many are brave enough to demand more, not from others, but from themselves? You see, leaders don't wait for the standard to be set. They define it. They walk in the room and immediately the temperature changes. Not because they speak the loudest, but because they live the loudest. Their example becomes the expectation. Their actions become the blueprint. Their habits become the norm. If you want to become great, if you want to be remembered, if you want to build a legacy, then you must set the standard. Raise your expectations. What you tolerate, you accept. And what you accept becomes your reality. So if you're tired of mediocrity, if you're sick of playing small, if you're done watching others pass you by, it's time to raise your expectations. Raise them for how you show up. Raise them for how you think. Raise them for how you train, how you eat, how you speak, how you lead, how you love. You cannot live a legendary life on average standards. You cannot dominate with a discount mindset. Raise your expectations or stay where you are. It's that simple. Your standard is your brand. People don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. They remember your consistency, your commitment, your energy, your fire. Your standard becomes your signature. So ask yourself, what do you stand for? What are you known for? What is the code you live by? When people think of you, what comes to mind? Because greatness is not given, it's earned. In the invisible, unglamorous, unseen moments when no one is watching. That's when your standard is tested. That's when champions are made. Not on stage, not in front of the crowd, but in the quiet, lonely hours where the only thing pushing you forward is your own demand for excellence. Be the example you want others to show up on time. Be early. You want others to work hard. Outwork everyone. You want others to respect the process. Honor it with your actions. You want others to lead, then lead. Never ask from others what you're not willing to give yourself. Be the first to rise and the last to quit. Be the one who never cuts corners. Be the one who gives everything, every time. Because when you set the standard, you give others permission to do the same. You become the spark, the blueprint, the reason someone else believes it's possible. Refuse to lower the bar. You will be tempted to settle, tempted to coast, tempted to back off just a little bit. Because let's face it, setting the standard is lonely. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's demanding. But you must understand, when you lower your standard once, it becomes easier to do it again, and again, and again, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who you are. Don't let comfort rob you of your calling. Don't let opinions water down your power. Don't let the world convince you to shrink. Raise the bar and never lower it for anyone. Control what you can control. You can't control what people say. You can't control the weather. You can't control the economy. You can't control how others act. But you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your habits. You can control your standard. And that's all you need. Because when you take full responsibility for your life, something powerful happens. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop hoping. And you start doing. You start building, you start leading, you start winning. Every moment counts. Champions don't turn it on and off. They live the standard, day in and day out. No matter how they feel, you don't need motivation when you have discipline. You don't need a crowd when you have character. Every rep counts. Every second matters. Every detail adds up. Your habits become your future. Your decisions become your destiny. And your standard becomes your life. So raise it. Own it, live it, lead with honor. To set the standard is to live with integrity, to do what's right, not what's easy, to walk the narrow path, to hold the line, to carry yourself with pride. Honor is not outdated, excellence is not optional, and greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It's earned by the few who choose to live differently, to show up differently, to think differently, to believe differently, to be uncommon in an ordinary world. That is what it means to set the standard.